On April 19th, Ezra Miller did it again and ended up arrested once more. I have lost count over how many arrests that has been over the past few weeks and months, but I do know that this particular arrest was one too many. And for that, this arrest will have repercussions. In this video, we'll break down what we know about this most recent in a long line of arrests, why this is the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, and what the repercussions might be. Let us begin by getting you all up to speed with what we know at the time of this recording about this most recent arrest. We know nothing. You are now up to speed. Now, there is a longer answer to that, which is that we are making this video literally minutes after Hawaii News Now broke the scoop that Ezra Miller had been arrested yet again. And their initial story, the one on which this video is based, doesn't offer any more details than that. By the time you watch this video, more information could very well have made its way to the public, but for the moment, I'm working on the assumption that this arrest is probably much like the way too many previous arrests, meaning some kind of disorderly conduct, which probably involved threats of violence or actual violence, especially towards women, or something to that end. At the time of making this video, we don't know, but based on past behavior, it's probably something like that, because with Ezra, that is the pattern.
We interrupt this video to bring you mid-video breaking news.
After this was recorded, while the video was being edited, we learned, first from Mikey Sutton and then from Variety, that we are dealing with second-degree assault, as Ezra reportedly threw a chair at a woman's head. We're keeping the initial recording in though, because it serves to illustrate a point we'll get back to soon, namely that this is a pattern, a predictable pattern. There had been many such arrests before, and I see little reason to doubt that there will be many more in the future. But this one is special. For Ezra, and for the upcoming Flash movie, this could not have come at a worse time. There are two interconnected reasons why. Let's dive into them. All of Ezra's previous arrests happened before the Discovery merger was completed, meaning they happened on the previous administration's watch. Previous administration being Zaslav, Toby Emmerich, and where DC is concerned, Walter Hamada. The three of them stuck with Ezra on arrest after arrest, and even put they, because remember, Ezra is stunning and brave and wants to be referred to as they instead of him. And they was put front and center in not just one, but two major franchises, Fantastic Beasts and The Flash. Between those two, Warner have sunk several $100 million into they. But this was done under the previous administration, so Zaslav can't be held accountable for their mistakes. I mean, he's not happy about it. For the last couple of videos, we have made a point of how, according to rumors we have heard, Zaslav would have vastly preferred both Amber and Ezra to have been fired by the previous regime, so he wouldn't have to begin his administration by dealing with the two of them. Instead, that's exactly what he has to deal with. Not only is Amber a daily disaster in court, Ezra just landed this fresh hell on his desk. According to rumors we are hearing, Zaslav is far from happy right now, and much of that unhappiness will be directed squarely at Toby Emmerich. The one most responsible for Ezra and Amber still being there is of course Ann Sarnoff. You know, Warner's very own Kathleen Kennedy, who personally fired Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts. But she already chose to seek new opportunities elsewhere, because Zaslav shit canned her. As we covered in our recent video on Amber, Hamada has already distanced himself from her, stating in court that executives senior to him blocked his attempt at recasting her for Aquaman 2. And I'm sure that will be his defense with Ezra as well, and that leaves Toby Emmerich, and he stepped right into it. You'll recall that despite a pretty spotty history, Zaslav kept Emmerich on as the most senior remaining executive of the previous administration. Zaslav had already fired Sarnoff, but there has to be some continuity, so Emmerich was kept on. And I'm sure Emmerich wants to continue to be kept on for the indefinite future, but for that to happen, he's going to have to impress Zaslav. As already stated, Zaslav was not impressed by them keeping on both Amber and Ezra. As this news first broke, we spoke with scooper Mikey Sutton of Geekosity fame. According to him, Toby Emmerich very recently, as in the last few days, personally assured David Zaslav that there would be no more issues with Ezra Miller. What that means is that as a representative of the previous regime who kept Ezra on and put him front and center in 2 major franchises, Toby Emmerich stuck his neck out for Ezra Miller yet again. But sticking your neck out for someone with a proven pattern like Ezra has is not the brightest of moves, and I'm sure Toby regrets doing that right about now. Emmerich needed to impress Zaslav, and I'm pretty confident that Zaslav is not impressed. But this is also really bad news for Ezra theyself, as this time they screwed up on the watch of a new boss, who only sees they as a liability. And even within that, they chose the worst time possible, which brings us to the other interconnected reason I was alluding to earlier. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore just opened. You know, the Harry Potter spin-off movie which doesn't have Johnny Depp, but does have Ezra Miller. And it flopped. Badly. Really, really badly. By the time all is said and done, it could lose the company upwards of $100 million. And it probably marks the end for the Fantastic Beasts franchise. Ezra Miller is now associated with that failure, and that comes on top of his previous legal and mental issues. And now this. How long is Zaslav going to put up with this? As we already have pointed out in earlier videos, the option of all-out firing Ezra Miller and using the Flash movie to flashpoint him out of proceedings has been discussed, but no firm decision was made at the time when we made those videos. We're still not saying that is going to happen, but the movie has already been pushed back to next year, so the option of flashpointing Ezra Miller out of the end of it is on the table, and that option must be looking more and more tempting by the minute. We'll keep you up to date with what happens. To be sure you don't miss out on that, please hit that like, subscribe, and indicate you want notifications on all videos. With that, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments.